I'd like to invite a speaker from our platinum sponsor, Affinidi, Paramesh Kamarthi on stage. Paramesh is a solutions architecture lead at Affinidi. He's got 17 years of experience in full stack development in various technologies, including Node.js, React, Angular, and Microsoft.NET. Paramesh has worked with Wipro, 3i Infotech, Hexagon Global, Bartleby Technologies prior to joining Affinidi. Here to talk about passwordless onboarding with zero-party data, we have Paramesh. Can we have a loud round of applause for Paramesh, please?
Welcome to this session. You guys can hear me, right? So let's understand these terms. Passwordless onboarding, what is zero-party data? See, passwordless onboarding. Onboarding is usually a multi-step process. Usually, if you do authenticate with any systems, we have to authenticate, then gradually we'll keep asking for the information like your profile, your passwords, your address details, your shipping address, those things. But passwordless onboarding means you collect the data during the authentication itself, during the login, so that you will reduce the friction of funnel drops. What is zero-party data? Zero-party data, it's a data directly comes from the user. If user is willing to share the data with his consent, that we call that data as a zero-party data. There are some other ways where we can collect the data, like you can read from the cookies or browser history or from third-party sources where they give. That is all called as a second-party, third-party, etc. Okay. Let's understand how is that identity we do it in our physical world. So here, as a user, if I want to access, say example, as a user, I want to board a flight. What I do is, I have a wallet where I physically hold my all documents in my wallet, and that I will present that wallet, like example, passport or Aadhaar, to the security, and then they will allow me on the boarding, right? Here, there are two things to be noted. One, all documents, whatever we have with trusted documents like driving license, PAN card, everything is controlled by you and it is within your wallet. And second thing, when you present this trusted document, why I am saying it is a trusted document is because those documents are issued for the particular trusted issuers like Government of India, everything. And this, when you present this to particular security or from boarding a flight, they will check the document without even calling that issuer. Like they will not call passport authority saying that is this passport valid or something. Because that passport itself has a hologram, it has signature, everything. There is a standard which is defined by the issuer, which they trust it, and that's how we onboard. Let's look at how is the identity in the digital and its evaluation. Right. Now, this is like traditional. If user wants to access any website, I will use the traditional username and passwords and log into the website. Here, that your username, your data, everything lies, your identity lies with the particular website. And we repeat the same process for that if you access to different website, right? And later on, this basically gives of end up like it is giving like situation where you'll end up having multiple identities of yourself, which is fragmented across your different sites. But same represents about yourself. Later on, so this is not a good user experience, then later on we move to the federated one, where we'll rely on a particular federated provider. So we authenticate ourselves with a federated provider and the website trusts that provider. This is called usually familiar with social logins and Google logins, right? In either of the scenarios, centralized or federated, your control of your identity is not with you. It is within their servers, right? Your data, everything is there within the servers. And also trust is established with the traditional username and passwords. What next? Is there anything in digital where you will get a real world experience? Because real world experience gives you much more control over your data, privacy. You can decide whom to share, what to share. You have the full control in the physical world, right? But in the internet world, there is nothing like that. What is next? Introducing decentralized identity technologies. This is where in the Web3 world, we have called it as decentralized identity. What is it? Basically, think of it as like a type of identity management that allows people to control over their how will I say, okay. It gives you a control of your identity with you. How will you get your control identity is because it comes with a public private key. You own the private key, that's how you prove the ownership of that identity. And the data exchange happens here is with the trusted data. Now let's understand what is this identifier and what is this trusted data. These are the building blocks for this decentralized identity. See, this is the sample did which we have showed. Think of it as like a unique address in the internet. See, there is a Gmail ID we have which is unique in the internet, I agree, but that is specific to the provider, which is a Gmail, right? Anyone can take out that. So if you look at any identifier in the internet, everything is tied to a specific provider and who maintains that identity. Anytime they can remove it, we don't have control over it. But this ID, which is this, is unique in the internet and you control that identity because you hold your private keys. 5 minutes over, right? Thank you. Right? This is our decentralized identifier. Next, what is verifiable credentials? It is like, JWT tokens, right? Tokens where you have a payload, proof, signatures, everything, right? This is also similar, but this verifiable credentials is a cryptographically signed JSON document which contains claims about yourself, which is issued by a particular party. What if I say it's something like, how do you prove something in your online? To prove something, so imagine I shared my email to somebody. How do you prove that email came from me and how you know that it's not been tampered? But JAR tokens are like that. It can be proved cryptographically with open source libraries. We can easily prove without relying on any issuer, right? That is called verifiable credentials. Here, verifiable credential, if you look at that right side, my right side, there is a simple JSON which contains this VC of type driving license VC, and we have mapped how in the physical world, how it looks like in the JSON format. So here main things to note is this VC is issued by a particular issuer, means they signed these credentials about myself, which is that first name, last name, date of birth, and the proof of the signature is attached inside the proof, right? Now with this, if I share this JSON document to anybody, with general open source libraries, they can verify this signature without calling that phone home scenarios. We generally say it's a phone home scenarios. You don't need to call the proper authority to verify that it is identity or not, because if someone, with the general libraries, we can verify it without any interacting with the parties. Now, let's look at how this plays in place when it comes with the decentralized. Like in, if you same thing in the scenario like where user wants to access a website, here we create one decentralized identity where you will own the private key with you, and the data exchange happens in a trusted way. Here the trusted data is nothing but VCs, verifiable credentials. Imagine you are holding some VCs with you. If I say that everyone in this country holding a VC, it's not an Aadhaar, because Aadhaar details in the internet, to verify that you need to call an API integration with Aadhaar databases. But verifiable credentials means you should not rely on the issuers. You should be able to verify cryptographically without interacting with any parties. Right here, I shared my driving license VC with a particular website, and they can verify that without interacting anything, and then they can onboard you. This is what looks like it's a real world experience. Now, how to create this DIDs, how to create these VCs. Now let's go to this. This decentralized is giving you opportunities, I understand, but how can you implement this? At Affinidi, we want every person to control their identity like in physical world. So, what we wanted is, we call this idea as a concept called holistic identity, where it will give you 360-degree view of yourself, where you can discover your data, you can collect your data, store your data, and even you can monetize your data. And all this, you can also even get insights of your data. Now, to build this holistic identity technologies concepts into the life, we have created a network called Affinidi Trust Network, which contains a suite of products, where let's start with my right side, which is Affinidi Vault. This acts as your personal edge storage device. It's like an application where you'll install in your laptop, on your mobile, where it will gives you a kind of experience in the digital, in the physical world, like your wallet, physical wallet, or my purse. You can install that app in your mobile or in the laptop. All the data will be stored within that edge device, and the data will never leave your device until unless you share the data with your consent. And every data will be protected with your private key fingerprint. And this gives you basically full data control with you. And now I have a data in my vault. What can I do for that? What can I use it for this? So you can use this for authenticating with any system. Like Affinidi login enables you this passwordless login experience. And we have a connector. With these connectors, you can bring all your data into the vault. And Concierge is your personal AI assistant on your data. Think of it as like a personal chat GPT on your personal data. And Affinidi Messages provides you a authentic way of communication. And the Affinidi element stack is your backbone of all these products, which we have built using AWS. Everything is on serverless. I'll explain that in a moment later. Now let's look at with this login with decentralized using Affinidi stack. So here, like in user real world, you have a user where you want to access the website. You have a Affinidi vault on your edge storage device where you will store all your documents with you, and it is protected with your fingerprint. And you will share this data VCs to the particular party, and that party can verify it and they can onboard you without interacting with any password. There is no passwords involved. Why? Because here when user presents, he will present that VC, he will sign with his own private key, he will sign the data and he will share the data to the party. That's how the trust is established. Now, Affinidi login is what acts as a OpenID Connect provider here, which will do the data exchange. If you look at OpenID Connect provider, that does a data exchange with a plain format, but here the data exchange happens with the verifiable credentials. They call it as a OpenID for VP. It's a new standard which is an extension to the OpenID Connect. Now with this thing, you got the control of your identity with you, and the trust is established with the end user directly and no passwords involved. And the similar experience you will get it for any website anywhere, and you will not repeat entering any forms, keep entering it. I know there are so many forms, you will keep filling it on every website, right? But with this, you control your data with you, and you will keep sharing the data from your vault. Let's look at a demo. So it's a small thing. So when user clicks on the login button, see, a request came to his user vault where he can select this data, and he can share the data with the consent to the particular website, and website gets the data, verifies it, and it's logged in. Done. This looks very simple, and this is the same experience you can give it with the kind of data which you wanted. If website wants, I wanted to log in with some PAN number, or log in with some passports, or I wanted to get the passport details plus this address details, everything. The experience will be the same. Every request comes to the user's vault, user will share the data with his consent, and that data will be transferred to the particular website. This is what the passwordless onboarding experience with zero-party data. Now, this Affinidi element stack, which we have built everything on AWS, we are using microservices. First, monolithic, we moved from monolithic to microservices using refactored spaces, and you use a strangler fig pattern. And we faced a lot of difficulties also, like we wanted to build faster, and everybody in our team, what we did is we created a kind of like code base where you maintain infrastructure as a code and your application code together using project templates. And our platform team has created a CDK constructs for every kind of deployment. Like as an example, if you want to deploy just an API with a database, there is one template. You just download it, and all this with the company best practices and security standards. So I don't need to worry about that. Everything authorization in place. All I have to do is create the template and just write my code, API code, and just within a minute, 5 minutes, we were able to deploy and put it on serverless, and we were able to access with the API, and we can test it. And our Adam CTO, he has presented the same thing about this, how was our Affinidi story, how we moved it, how we saved the cost, everything in detail on AWS reInvent recently in 2023. You can scan this QR code and watch this video. And if you visit our website, we have a great developer documentation where we can go and there are so many hands-on labs you can try. There are so many of developer tools like CLI where you can create an application with just in 15 minutes. You can create any application which makes user-centric. Here, user-centric, when I say user-centric means identity will be controlled by the user. Every request will come to the user vault and user will share the data. Imagine a world, think of the world where you control all, you collect all your data and keep it with you. And who is the king here? Right now we are going everywhere a website and you are proving yourself there and we are getting a website. What if everybody comes here to me? Like in physical world, that's what's happening in the physical world, right? And if there are any upcoming events, you can go through that. What is our vision? We want everyone securely manage their data and get the value out of their data. That's our mission. And I know we have a lot of questions, so that's why we have opened a booth there. And I would request if you have any questions on this vault, this holistic identity, what is this network, how we use AWS, everything, please visit us on the booth and you can ask questions. And there is a QR code. You can scan this and register and you can enter into the raffle. You can win some exciting prizes, Amazon vouchers and JBL speakers. With this, I thank you. Let's change the data ownership together. Thank you so much. Thank you again.
Since Paramesh was on time, we have 1 minute for questions.
Oh, is it, huh?
Yes, good job. Any questions? All right, I'll leave the questions to the Affinidi stall. So like Paramesh mentioned, there's a raffle, there's a demo, there are a lot of goodies to be given away at the stall. We will break into the morning tea break right now, so during which time you can or you should visit the Affinidi stall as well.
I'll use that 1 minute, right? I can use. I know that because when I saw the two bells, so I thought it's okay. So I can use it. See, as I said, here your data in the internet is all fragmented. So you will see the data everywhere. I know maybe some statements I'm repeating myself, but I want to I want to stress this few words that our data in the internet is fragmented everywhere. So your identity lies with you, but it doesn't fully represent you. Some site might give you half of your information, part of your information, some sites will give you something, but whole of you, it doesn't give you a full picture. What that if you gather all the information and keep it with you. Affinidi will provide you the set of tools where you can collect all your data and it will keep you with a secure and privacy preserving way. And your data will never leave your device. I'm stressing again one more thing that we do not store your data on our servers. No. It will be stored on your edge device. It means that it could be on your laptop, it could be on your mobile device. For us to identify you, your DID, this is what gets created on your desktop machine or in a mobile machine when you get registered with the vault. Now by default we'll ask for your email to verify OTP and then we will create a DID for you on your machine. There is an open source library. Oh, okay. Okay, I know there are a lot of questions. Yeah, please come and visit us. Booth.
Please visit the Affinity stall. And I also heard a rumor that they are hiring, so please feel free to slip your CV through as well.
No, that's not a rumor. We are hiring.
True. Yeah, there you go.